Close your eyes for just a moment and take a breath. Not from the body, but from the truth that dwells within you. You are not waiting for your breakthrough, you are its cause. And now, something inside you is beginning to stir. You have found this message not by accident, but because the seed has already been planted. You are not here to chase change. You are here because change has already occurred within you. There comes a moment, a quiet shift, when the world begins to bend in your favor. And if you are seeing this right now, this is that moment. The breakthrough isn't coming, it is already here. Look around you. Maybe nothing has changed outwardly, yet something feels different. There is an invisible click, a knowing that refuses to be denied. That right there is the sign. You've already assumed the new state without realizing it. You've touched the feeling of the wish fulfilled even briefly, and now the world must echo back what you've dared to claim within. Don't look for evidence with your eyes. Trust the knowing in your spirit. The world is a delayed mirror. It reflects only what you previously accepted as true. But now that you've seen this, now that you've felt this, your new assumption is in motion, the tide has turned. Your awareness is everything. It is not a passive thing, it creates. And the very fact that you're hearing these words means the creation is complete. The form may still be unfolding, but the substance is done. You are walking through the bridge of incidents now, each step guided by the unseen hand of your own inner conviction. You don't have to make it happen. You don't even need to try. You already are the version of you who has it. The desire wasn't sent to torment you. It was planted in you as a prophecy, a revelation of what already is in the unseen. And so the moment you see the sign, whether it's a repeated phrase, a strange coincidence, or this very message, understand, it is not a promise, it is a confirmation. You've crossed the threshold, you've entered the new state, you've opened the door, and the breakthrough is walking toward you now. All you need to do is remain faithful to the feeling. Do not return to the old story. Stay in the knowing, live from the end. Act not as one who waits, but as one who has received. You are not hoping anymore. You are remembering. The moment has come. The breakthrough is yours. And if you see this, you already know. Everything you experience is a reflection of your inner state. The moment your awareness shifts, your world begins to rearrange. What you call reality is not something external to you. It is not fixed, rigid, or separate. It is pliable, fluid, and entirely responsive to the one observing it. You. Everything begins and ends with your consciousness. You are not just a participant in this world. You are the projector. Your thoughts, your assumptions, your inner conversations, these form the blueprint upon which the world around you is constructed. Life does not happen to you. It unfolds from you. There is no power outside your awareness. The things you call coincidences, fate, or even bad luck are not independent forces. They are shadows cast by the light of your inner world. Every man, woman, and event that crosses your path is simply playing a role in the drama written by your own consciousness. If you believe the world is cruel, you will meet cruelty in every form. If you believe success is difficult, then difficulty will appear as fact. But when you shift your consciousness to believe that life is on your side, that abundance is natural, that you are chosen, suddenly the evidence begins to support it. Why? Because consciousness is the only reality. Not what you see, not what you touch, not what others tell you. Your state of being is what gives shape to every form. This is not philosophy. It is law. And once you grasp it, you hold the key to your freedom. You must understand, your world does not change because you force it to. It changes because you change. The world has no choice but to rearrange itself according to the arrangement of your own assumptions. It is mechanical, predictable, inescapable. When you wake up tomorrow morning and assume success, peace, and worthiness, not out of wishful thinking, but as a living inner reality. The day ahead must reflect it. It may not come in the way you expect. It may not arrive in the time your ego demands, but it will come, and it will come precisely, beautifully, and inevitably. You may say, "But I've believed before and nothing happened." No. You hoped, you wished, but you did not remain faithful to the inner state long enough for the outer world to catch up. Reality always lags behind assumption. The world you see today is not a reflection of what you believe now. It is the echo of who you were. So, what must you do? Nothing external. The work is within. Begin now to revise your self-image. Dare to see yourself as already in possession of the desire, not striving for it, not reaching, not doubting, but being it. Feel it as real. Enter the state of the wish fulfilled and live there in imagination, in feeling, in identity. And persist. You do not need to beg for what is already yours in the unseen. You only need to awaken to it. There is no one to change but self. There is nothing to fix out there, because out there is a mirror. And the mirror does not change first. You do. Let the world be what it is for now. It does not matter. You are not trying to change the reflection. You are changing the face that casts it. And in doing so, you will notice something astonishing. What once seemed immovable begins to dissolve. People change. Circumstances shift. Paths open. And you will realize it was never the world that was in your way. It was only your awareness of it. Change your consciousness and the world must follow. This is the root, the foundation, the secret behind every transformation. You are not a victim. You are not powerless. You are the operant power, the first cause. And the moment you remember this, your reality bends to obey. Because consciousness is not a part of reality. It is reality. What you see now is a mirror. Your current situation is not fixed. It is simply a projection of your past assumptions. Everything you encounter in the physical world is the outpictured form of your inner conversations, beliefs, and assumptions. It is not a cause. It is an effect. The world around you is not showing you reality. It is showing you yourself. Your thoughts, whether deliberate or habitual, move into form and clothe themselves in people, events, and outcomes. You are never seeing the world as it is. You are seeing the world as you are. To say the outer world is a shadow is to understand that it has no power of its own. Just as a shadow cannot exist without an object casting it, your physical experience cannot exist without the inner state giving it life. This is not metaphor, it is law. Everything begins within. Your mind is the projector, your assumptions are the film, and your life is the screen. You are not at the mercy of the screen, you are in control of the script. Yet most people try to change the world by attacking the screen, not realizing that their own imagination is the source of every scene playing out before them. Look at your life today, your relationships, your finances, your health, your opportunities. Every one of these is a snapshot of your internal landscape. They are not accidents. They are not determined by others. They are the visible results of your previously sustained inner states. This is good news, because if you created it, you can recreate it. You are not stuck. You are simply observing the echo of who you used to be. The moment you accept a new assumption as true within yourself, you begin to set in motion the change that will eventually reflect outwardly. But understand this. There is a delay between cause and effect. Just as a seed does not bloom overnight, your new inner assumptions take time to form into visible experience. And in that time, the temptation is to look around and say, nothing is happening. But this is the fatal error. Because every time you affirm the outer world as real, you are reinforcing the old state. You must persist in the unseen. You must hold the new state with unwavering faith, knowing that the world is not denying you, it is simply echoing what you once believed. Stay faithful to your new belief, and the echo must change. The shadow must follow the light. There is nothing to fight out there. People are not your enemies. Circumstances are not your obstacles. They are actors on a stage, reading the lines you've unknowingly written. And the moment you write a new script within, quietly, deliberately, they begin to say different lines. They behave differently. Events shift, doors open. Why? Because they were never the cause, they were only the mirror. When you truly grasp this, you no longer react in fear to your current circumstances. You understand they are already old, already fading. You stop arguing with what is and begin cultivating what will be. By dwelling in the state of your desired outcome, this is the true nature of power. Not to manipulate the shadow, but to turn inward and change the light. To occupy the inner world so vividly and so faithfully that the outer world has no choice but to follow. The world is not holding you back. It is simply revealing what you've been assuming, feeling, and believing. And that means the moment you assume something new, the world begins to move. Let your current reality say what it wants. It no longer defines you. It is only the past in motion. And the future is already yours the moment you claim it within. So now turn away from the shadow and face the source, because the outer world is not the master, it is the servant, and it will always follow your lead. The world begins to echo your new inner reality with subtle confirmations. When you see this, your breakthrough is near. The moment you move within, truly shift your consciousness, something changes. It may be invisible at first, silent and subtle, but the movement is real. You might not see the outer world shift immediately, but you will begin to feel it. Then, soon enough, the signs come. But here's the great secret. The sign is not a predictor. It is not a warning. It is not a test. It is an echo. Signs do not cause change. They follow it. They appear after you've made the shift internally. They are evidence that the new state you've entered is beginning to press against the walls of the world. They are proof that your assumption has taken root. You might see repeating numbers, hear a phrase that mirrors your new desire, meet someone who reflects the energy you've been living in your imagination, or you might simply feel a calm knowing, a deep sense that something has already happened. That is the sign. The world is always responding to you, not the other way around. You do not wait for signs to believe. You believe, and then signs come. And when they come, recognize them, not with desperation, but with peace, because their presence means the new state is in motion. The machinery behind the scenes is shifting. People are being moved. Events are being arranged. Circumstances are aligning, not by effort, but by law. Understand this deeply. You are not chasing signs. You are creating them. The sign is never separate from you. It is not something the universe sends when you're ready. It is the reflection of your inner readiness. When you accept something as true in your inner world, when you dwell in the feeling of it, live in the knowing of it, the outer world begins to bend. And the first bend is the sign. You might have had this experience. You changed your thinking, your feeling, and suddenly the right message popped into your feed. A stranger said something you were just thinking. A door cracked open where before there was only a wall. That wasn't coincidence. That was confirmation. And the more you remain faithful to the new state, the more you refuse to fall back into old doubts or logic, the more signs begin to appear faster and stronger. They multiply because you are multiplying in consciousness. The shadow thickens because the light is growing. But beware of misinterpreting signs. Do not use them to doubt or question. They are not meant to be interrogated. They are meant to reassure you. When you say, is this a sign or not, you are stepping out of faith and into analysis. And the moment you doubt the sign, you step away from the very state that brought it. Remain still. Remain confident. The sign is not the thing, it is the announcement, the whisper of what's to come. Do not mistake the knock for the gift. It's already on its way. When you walk by faith, not by sight, you no longer demand proof. And that is when proof comes in abundance. If you are seeing this message right now, it is a sign. Not because of me, not because of these words, but because something in you has already shifted. And now the world is echoing back what you've claimed within. You don't have to make it happen. You don't have to figure out how. That's not your job. Your only task is to remain faithful to the unseen reality, to trust the new state, to persist in it without wavering. And when you do, the signs will come, one by one, then all at once. Confirmations, whispers, nudges, until one day the breakthrough appears fully formed before you. But even then, it will feel natural because you saw it first with it. So when the sign comes, smile. Don't chase it, don't question it. Once you dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, life forms a perfect chain of events to deliver your desire. You do not need to force your dream into existence. You do not need to beg, hustle, or push against the world. Your one task is simple. Assume the end, live in the end, feel from the end, and the rest will be taken care of. There is a power greater than effort, and it lies in assumption. The moment you dwell in the feeling that your desire is already fulfilled, the universe begins to move. Not randomly, not chaotically, but with divine precision. A series of events begins to unfold, each one perfectly timed, each one necessary, each one designed to lead you to the very thing you have already claimed within. The sequence is known as the bridge of incidents. It is the invisible path that connects the invisible assumption to the visible manifestation. Most cannot see this bridge as it forms because it rarely looks like what the mind expects. Sometimes it comes through a chance meeting, a delay, an unexpected conversation, even a seeming setback, but it is never accidental. Every moment you persist in the inner reality of the wish fulfilled, this bridge continues to build beneath your feet. You are not the architect of the bridge, you are the occupant of the end. It is your job to live from the result, and the bridge will construct itself. You don't need to know how. The how is not your burden. The path will reveal itself through what appears to be normal life. And by the time you reach the fulfillment of your desire, you'll realize everything that happened was perfectly orchestrated. This is why living in the end is not just a technique. It is a surrender, a deep trust in the law of consciousness. When you assume the feeling of your desire already fulfilled, you cease to interfere. You allow the wisdom within you to do its work. You walk through each moment with calm confidence, knowing that even the detours are part of the plan. But many fall short because they look around and see nothing changing. They ask, where is it? Why is it here? And in doing so, they leave the end and return to the beginning. They interrupt the bridge being built. The key is persistence. To hold to the vision no matter what appears. To trust the invisible thread that is already pulling you toward it. Living in the end does not mean pretending. It means feeling from the place where it is already so. You begin to think, act, speak, and expect as the version of you who has already received. You let go of timelines. You stop watching the clock because you are already there in consciousness. And where consciousness goes, the body must follow. The bridge may bring you challenges, surprises, or things you wouldn't have chosen consciously, but all of it is leading you where you've already gone in spirit. Imagine standing in your dream life. Close your eyes and feel it real. Breathe from it, speak from it, give thanks for it. Not as something to come, but as something already here. That is the secret. That is the cause. And now that you are there inwardly, life must catch up. The phone call will come. The right person will cross your path. The door will open that had been closed for years. Not because you chased it, but because you claimed it. You are the cause. You are the operant power. The moment you moved in imagination, the bridge began to form. So do not ask if it's working. It's already working. Do not look for signs. You are the sign. Remain in the end. Live from it. And walk boldly, even if the steps are unclear. Because if you dare to remain faithful to the unseen end, the seen world will deliver it through a path so perfect, you will wonder how you ever doubted. The bridge is real, and you are already walking it. The moment you feel yourself to be the version of you who has the breakthrough, the world must obey. Creation is not about pursuit. It is not about attracting some distant outcome with your thoughts like a magnet. You are not pulling in something external. You are awakening something internal. You do not attract love, success, wealth, health, or happiness. You become it. You embody it. And then, by law, the world reflects it. Everything begins with identity. You cannot experience what you are not conscious of being. The outer world mirrors back only what you have dared to claim within. If you are waiting to see proof before you believe it, you are living in reverse. The law does not respond to want or hope. It responds to being. So the question is not, how do I attract what I desire, but rather, who am I being now? When you change your concept of self, the world rearranges accordingly. If you want to experience a breakthrough, you must first assume the version of yourself who already has it. Speak like that version. Think like that version. Feel as they would feel. Not later, not someday, but now. This is not pretending. This is not fantasizing. It is a deliberate assumption, sustained long enough for the world to recognize it as law. You are not separate from what you desire. The very fact that you can imagine it means it already exists within you, and the only reason it has not yet appeared in your world is because you have not yet accepted it as your reality. Become it in feeling. Claim it in imagination and persist in that identity until the world has no choice but to conform. There is no need to manipulate the outside world. There is no one to convince, no conditions to fix. The world is only ever showing you. If you are experiencing delay or resistance, it is not because the world is withholding something from you. It is because you have not fully moved into the version of yourself that naturally experiences that result. Every desire carries with it a version of you who already lives in the fulfillment of it. You don't get the desire by striving, you get it by shifting. You align with that version and everything begins to move. The people you need, the opportunities, the timing, the resources, they all orbit around who you are in consciousness. Not who you are trying to be, not who you were, but who you accept yourself to be now. Become the one who already has the breakthrough. Walk like them, talk like them, think their thoughts, assume their posture, their tone, their peace, and you will notice something remarkable. The world no longer feels heavy. You are no longer trying to get anything. You are simply receiving what you already are. This is the secret that separates effort from embodiment. When you stop chasing and start being, the breakthrough comes not as a surprise, but as a natural outcome. Don't wait to feel worthy. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait for the world to confirm what your inner world already knows. Make the inner shift, and the outer must reflect it. You are not an attractor. You are a creator. And you create not by force, but by identity. So ask yourself now, who am I being in this moment? If it's someone waiting, doubting, hoping, shift. Step into the version of you who has already received. And do not leave it no matter what the world shows, because when you become the one who has the breakthrough, life must obey. Circumstances bend, paths appear, and what once seemed far away shows up with effortless grace. You don't need to attract it, you only need to become it. And once you do, the rest follows automatically. The fact that you're hearing these words, seeing this message, or sensing a shift means your manifestation is arriving. Awareness is the evidence. So many wait for proof. They ask for signs, plead for confirmation, and search for some external indication that what they desire is coming. But the truth is deeper and much simpler. The sign you seek is not outside you. It is in you. Your very awareness of a message, a moment, or a shift in your inner state is the sign. The fact that you have become conscious of a certain desire, a specific word, or a particular synchronicity is not accidental. It is an echo of the change already underway within you. Nothing in your reality happens without meaning, and nothing enters your awareness until your consciousness is a match for it. So if you are hearing these words, sensing that something is near or feeling stirred without knowing why, trust it. You would not even be aware of the message unless something in you had already aligned. Your awareness is the evidence. It is the whisper that tells you the thing you desire is already set in motion. You don't need writing in the sky. You don't need everything to make sense just yet. You only need to honor the shift within you, the sudden clarity, the inner pull, the calm assurance that seems to arrive out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are the footprints of your manifestation making its way to you. Often, when something is about to manifest, you feel it before you see it. You know it before it arrives. You may not know how, but you just know. That knowing is the bridge between imagination and reality. And that knowing begins with awareness. You may find yourself repeatedly drawn to the same message. You hear a phrase over and over. Someone you haven't spoken to in years brings up something that aligns perfectly with what you've been silently imagining. This is not random. This is resonance. What you dwell on within begins to appear without, not just as results, but as signs on the way to results. These signs don't predict the future. They announce what has already begun. So do not ask, is this really a sign? Instead, declare, I recognize this because it is mine. The outer world is not showing you what to want. It is showing you what you've already accepted. You became aware of the sign because you are already in possession of the state. That's why it stood out to you. Others may have passed the same message and felt nothing, but you felt something. It struck a chord. It lit something inside you. And that feeling, that resonance, is the sign. You don't have to wait for some grand event to know it's working. The fact that your awareness is shifting, that your perception is tuning in, is the evidence that the seed you planted in imagination is breaking through the soil. This awareness becomes your guide. Let it grow. Let it lead you gently into even deeper faith. You no longer need to analyze or prove. Simply rest in the assurance that your recognition is the response. This is the power of consciousness. It doesn't beg, it doesn't chase, it recognizes. And that recognition becomes manifestation. So if you're reading this now, take a deep breath. Feel the stillness underneath the words. Sense the presence of what you've been calling in. It is already so near, it has entered your awareness. Let that be enough. Because this moment, the one you're living right now, is a holy one. It marks the turning point, the threshold, the evidence. You no longer need to search for signs. You are the sign, and the fact that you can recognize it means it's already yours. As we come to the close of this journey together, remember this. Your outer world is but a reflection of your inner state. The breakthrough you seek is not somewhere outside. It begins within you. The signs you notice, the feelings you experience, the moments of awareness, they are not coincidences. They are confirmations that your shift has been built step by step, moment by moment. You don't need to chase or attract. Simply become. Live in the end, embody the version of yourself who has already arrived, and trust that life will respond perfectly. Your awareness of these truths is itself the greatest sign of all. Thank you for allowing me to share these words with you. May you walk forward in confidence, knowing that your breakthrough is here, that it is real, and that it is already unfolding. Stay faithful to the unseen, embrace the signs, and watch as your world rearranges itself to reflect the powerful reality you hold within. Thank you, and may your journey be blessed with clarity, peace, and abundant manifestation.